Hey, what's happening, gamers? As promised, it's time for the Evil Dead Ash Williams live stream for Fortnite. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. This stream will focus on just Ash Williams. So, he comes equipped with his boomstick, his chainsaw hand, and he's available in the item shop for a few days. He was available in the item shop. There he is. And believe it or not, Black Adam is still available, which is kind of interesting. So that's cool. So Ash Williams pack, you get Ash himself, and it says right there, only Ash can use the chainsaw hand, pickaxe, the Necronomicon, and something else. So I was a big fan of Bruce Campbell character Ash, but I did not like the first two Evil Dead movies because they were too intense. My favorite movie was Army of Darkness because it was actually rated PG-13, I believe. The other ones were too... I don't like gore, so they were a bit too gory. But these were the movies that put Bruce Campbell on the map, and then he had a lot of really fun shows in the 90s, from Jack of All Trades and some cowboy show that I can't remember, Crisco County Jr. or something, Briscoe County, I don't remember. But they were really fun shows. They didn't last very long, though, which is a shame. In today's standards, they actually would have gotten better ratings than Batwoman, and they still got canceled. But they were fun shows.
It just shows how few good shows there are anymore.
Well, I mean, he actually, over the course of his show's entire lifespan, got more ratings than most CW shows. And they, back in the 90s, they called the show a flop, and they canceled it. Because it wasn't getting as many million viewers per week, but it still never dropped below 1 million views. That's a fun emote. Okay, so anyway, if you guys are around, let's play. You saw Ash. That's Ash. That's your thingy. Okay. Alright, so let's get into it. We've got, what's-his-face here. Geo is here, and I don't know if I have private stuff on or not. I don't think so. So let's get into a match. How many of you guys remember, the Evil Dead movies, and which one is your favorite? Those of you that are adults. Although, I would recommend Army of Darkness. That's an okay movie, because I saw Army of Darkness when I was, like, 13. Something like that. I didn't have any problems with it. The Evil Dead movies gave me nightmares. Especially the second movie. It's pretty intense. So whenever I speak, Zelda, you go crazy. You know that hurts my feelings, Zelda? It just does. What is that called? The Ash, Ash Bundle? What is that? Whoops. Got some type of vampire chick. Yeah, Ash Williams pack. Ash Williams pack. Just lie down, Zelda. Don't walk on the line. Oh, that's a really cool, that's a cool picture. Okay, so we're getting into our first match. 4 minutes in, that was quick. It's because everybody is afraid of Ash's boomstick. Evil Dead 1. Okay. Well, that's not very nice. I have a chainsaw hand. Does it actually make the chainsaw noise? I can't tell. Oh, hey, Geo, how's it going, buddy? No, don't you even think about jumping from computer to computer. I have been nice, and I let you out of the basement. Do not betray that by jumping. Don't you think about it. Okay? Don't. Bad kitten. You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna go to jail for thought police. Oh, there's pumpkin stuff now. It's because it's Halloween, right? So what kind of Halloween stuff we talking about right now in Fortnite? Or there isn't any. Don't they usually have, like, houses decorated with pumpkins and junk? Gave you a shot, Zelda, and you blew it. Bye. That's right, Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day and... You can go back if you want. Okay. You're fine. Okay. It's got a weird disco ball thing. Do I have the music off? Yeah, I do. Ooh, it's kind of foggy. It's kind of Halloween-y. A little bit. Dude's taking a bath. Why not? So anyway, guys and gals, like and share the video if you haven't already. This stream will last for a little bit, and then I gotta jump off and go to my other channel to do Bayonetta tonight. That's gonna be fun. And then I have no idea what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm just... Somebody asked me on Twitter, it's like, how do you deal with burnout? It's like, I'll let you know. I've been burned out for years. I just keep going. Why do I keep going? Because I have to provide, I have to have a place to live. I've got I've got a beautiful wife to take care of. I've got a pesky cat. I've got my health stuff. And I can't just be like, I don't feel like working today. So there are some days where I'd be like, yeah, I just don't want to get out of bed. I haven't been able to watch anime in a week. I would love to catch up on some shows I haven't been able to watch because all the Gotham Knights videos I've been editing every night. And it's just, it's depressing to see how quickly the game is just dropping off the face of the earth. It's like, I thought it would at least last a month. It hasn't even been, I think it's going on 2 weeks and it's just dead. I'm like, wow. I noticed one guy posted the finale of his series. He's got like 700 or 800,000 subscribers. He posted his finale. He got I think it was like 7,000 views. I was just like, oh my god. His first episode got like 80,000 views. Then his second got 6,000. Which made me think this dude is either botting or like people saw the first episode and they bolted. And then another guy, like, he's got 2 million subscribers. He couldn't even crack 100,000 views for his first episode of Gotham Knights. And his finale episode only got 20,000 views. So, I mean, just to witness a game die that quickly, you know, it says something. Honestly, I have a theory. I think the reason why the Gotham Knights game died so quickly is because for over a month in August, they were overhyping the game. People are mad about the 30 frames per second. People are mad about the glitches with multiplayer. People are mad about how people got access to the game a week in advance and spoiled the entire game in a week in advance. And after the game came out over the weekend, last week, people just played through it after, I think, probably like 2 or 3 days, and then that was it. Most companies said, hey, you know, the dialogue is different between all the different villains and the Gotham Knight characters, but when you actually get to the brass tacks of it, and you look at the game itself, even what I'm noticing playing as Nightwing and finishing up with Tim Drake is the game's, the way the characters move is the same. It's just basically like going through a game where you reskin the main character, like the same character model, and then you have them interact with people. The dialogue is a little bit different, but not really. Like, Harley Quinn says, like, maybe one or two things differently if you're playing as Red Hood, Robin, Nightwing, or Batgirl, but for the most part, her dialogue is exactly the same. Her dialogue when she gets arrested by Renee Montoya is exactly the same. The responses from Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Red Hood to her are different, sure, but she doesn't respond to them like they're actually having a conversation. She just does whatever line she recorded. And most of the game is like that. So in reality, you don't really need to play through the game 3 or 4 times because the experience isn't going to be all that different. Just, I hate to tell you that, but it's just true. Ow. I was trying to use my chainsaw arm. Hi, Geo. Are you using a lightsaber? What's that? Whoa! What is this? I'm like an Anubis guy now. That's cool. Oh, I'm wicked fast now. I think. I thought I did something cool where I jumped over the car, but somebody shot me. But I still get to keep my cool power up that Geo gave me. Thank you. Whoa. So yeah, if you guys are playing with us, feel free to go nuts. Just destroy the other team if you want. I'm just kind of running around showing Ash Williams, though. Where was the dude I was chasing? How did that person know I was following them? Do I think that a new studio is going to take over Gotham Knights and make it better? No. Nope. Nope. I have a feeling that they're going to rush content, though, to try to add some additional life to the game. And then they're just going to quietly ignore it. Hopefully you don't need a matchmaking system in order to, like, on their end, to keep playing multiplayer with people, but maybe you do, I don't know. They were nice enough to keep the multiplayer aspect of that Batman Arkham Origins game up for a long time after the game had been, you know, not around anymore. They don't anymore, but I don't really know how that kind of stuff works. So, but I have a feeling within the next, like, 3 to 4 months that all the content that was supposed to come out for the game is going to come out, and then based on how well the game sold, we'll find out if, you know, WB Games is going to keep them around as a studio. Because, I mean, you have to admit that their release wasn't very good. Do they have any other games that are coming out that are known yet? Or, like, because with Rocksteady, we know they were working on the Suicide Squad game plus another one. What was the other game that WB Games Montreal is working on? Is it the Harry Potter game? Or is that another studio? Because if anybody knows that, that would be interesting. Because I don't. I haven't really looked into it. You look very cute. Whoa, what is that? Thank you for the super chats, Ivan. You've been, like, rocking it this weekend. So anyway, how excited are you guys for Bayonetta tonight on the other channel? Like, anybody interested, or just kind of... Oh, you mean when my stream's over? Oh, thanks for watching my back. Ah, I cut you up as a vampire Ash Williams. Dices and slices. Oh, we got the rock there. Black Adam. And supposedly next week is when Black Adam comes out in multiverses. Although I'll believe it when I see it. Because they keep saying they're going to release it. And then they don't. They were supposed to release Black Adam in multiverses, what was it, a week and a half ago? And then they were supposed to release him this week. And they said no. You don't go to sleep. It's been a long day. My secret is I'm always tired, honey. I am literally... I mean, I don't want to get into it, but I'm even struggling here. So... I'm gonna take a 5. Yep. Yep. And speed trail hitting. Hopefully they patch it, because I have a feeling they are going to be bombed with reports, because they're getting a lot on their website. Yeah, but they just erase people's complaints. They don't really care about the community. The only thing that WB Games Montreal cares about is the content creators they work with, because those content creators basically give them good press. Yeah. And then the sheets that follow those content creators, they make YouTube videos calling out the people who actually have like real criticism of the game and say that people are hating on this game for no reason and blah blah blah. And it just, you know, to say that WB Games Montreal needs to do better is an understatement. It's a shame that what happened with their game happened, but based on everything that they did, I'm just gonna say it, they should have spent less time focusing on like certain narrative options and actually, you know, made a game that could be played well. Because there's gameplay issues, there's frame rate issues, there's cutscene issues, there's glitches, there's game breaking glitches, there's matchmaking issues. There's too much to go on. Like, the fact that I could just literally spend 20 minutes naming all the problems with the game is just depressing. When I don't want to do that. Because I did have fun with the game when it worked right. But even the PlayStation version was having some issues at one point. Just not as much. Thank you. Can't do it on the cheek or the forehead. We went out today and there were people all around us. I'm so worried about that. In the back of my head. Good job, people. It's very sweet. Well, let's see, you gave me a big hug. You've been sweet to me, so I'm good. Wait, what did I do wrong? Oh, no, I don't want to ready up. I want to return to the main hub. Okay, so there we go. That was Ash's first run. I don't believe Ash has any other costumes. Like, I would have given Ash, let's see. Did they give him any alts? No. I would have given him his Sir Ash Williams costume from Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness, which he looked really funny. And he had like a on his hand over there, this hand right here, he had a metal gauntlet because his hand was replaced with a chainsaw, so he wouldn't freak people out when he went to the Middle Ages. He fashioned a armor glove that kind of worked like a real hand, but it wasn't really that. And it looked really funny. And he had like a makeshift suit of armor and a cape and stuff like that. And he had like a blue, um, not Renaissance shirt, but he had like a blue like medieval shirt. And he cleaned up nice. It was funny. That's also where you get the line, what is that magic weapon that you have? And Bruce Campbell's trying to figure out what he's supposed to say in the Middle Ages, and he's trying to make people afraid of him, and he's like, this is my boomstick. Because when it shoots, it makes a loud, boom, because it's a sawed-off shotgun. And he showed that he had magic abilities too, and him working with Merlin was funny. It was a good movie. It was a little intense sometimes, but it was easier to watch as a young person than the Evil Dead movies, which were pretty intense. Very gory. There was a lot of comedy involved with Army of Darkness. More so than some other stuff. And that was, of course, his last role as Ash Williams until they did a TV series when Bruce Campbell was literally... I'm trying to think how old he was. I think he was in his 50s or something when Evil Dead came back. Of course, honey. You might have to open a new juice because I finished a juice. The juice that was on the side door I finished. Because I was trying to free up space in the fridge. Let's see, 21 minutes. Next match. Whoops. What is Black Sun's release? I am an OG subscriber. What's up? How do I rate Black Adam?
Oh, jeez, I'm gonna have to wait for this.
The Black Adam movie was good. I thought I already said that though. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought the only thing I didn't like is there was one character that annoyed me in the movie because they overplayed the character's role. Other than that, I thought, the origin story for Black Adam was good. The action sequences were amazing. It reminded me of Man of Steel, BVS. I would even say that the action sequences were better than Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like they were really, really, really well done. The Rock always makes fun movies, but this is probably one of my favorite Rock movies of all time. Like he really, he really did a great job, because what a lot of the critics don't understand about the Black Adam movie is Teth Adam, and they're trying to make the character appear like he is a kid, like Billy Batson. So the reason why The Rock is acting kind of aloof in the movie is because not only is he not accustomed to the modern world, which makes sense, I mean, he's from 5,000 years ago, but also he's supposed to be like at the mind of a child. Like literally that child, Amon, or whatever, is teaching The Rock's Black Adam character how to operate in modern society and how to be a person with superpowers. So if you think about it, I'm just going to throw it out here. There are some aspects of Black Adam's movie that echo a lot of beats of the first Shazam movie. First Shazam movie, you got the annoying, kid with the muscle disease hanging out with Billy, and he's like there all the time, sometimes bordering on annoying, but also, he was an important aspect of the story. Same thing can be said for this kid that's following The Rock around in the movie. Is he's kind of that same role as that other kid, like explaining to Shazam how to be a superhero. That's exactly what this little kid is doing for The Rock. And some people didn't like that. I honestly feel like the kid played too big of a role in the movie, like more so than he should have. I think that they should have kept the role of the person who helps The Rock out as kind of like maybe a side role, and it became like a main role. Like they should have given more stuff for Dr. Fate to do than the kid. Like Dr. Fate, I feel like kind of was one of the really great aspects of the movie, but he didn't have as many scenes as the kid.
Or his mom could
The mom wasn't too annoying, but the kid was very annoying. So I hope we don't see a lot of the kid again in the next Black Adam movie, but I have a feeling that he's going to stick around. The opening of the movie was good, you know, with the kid, but it's like the kid had no character development. The Rock did. The Rock made me feel emotion a little bit. Like, he was playing this kind of like aloof character for a while that, you know, you kind of got this, you know, character out of time feeling. And then when he actually told you his real origin, it was like, oh, okay, so he's trying to pretend to be the champion based on who the champion was. So he's not even trying to be his version of Black Adam. He's trying to be someone else's. Which is why he acts the way he did, because that's how... I can't get into spoilers. That'd be spoilers, but there was a reason for... I think the critics kind of missed out on like a key story thing. I think they were judging the movie a little bit too harshly when there was some key aspects to the film that I think just completely flew over their heads because critics aren't that smart. I mean, literally, you have critics right now that are demanding other critics give up their seat for the screening of Wakanda Forever and saying that someone who is a POC deserves to go to the premiere more than them. So they're going to give their ticket away so that, you know, someone from a smaller publication that wouldn't get the same opportunity. So they're flexing and virtue signaling at the same time. And, you know, expecting to get pats on the back when what they're doing is actually extremely discriminatory to, you know, an actual critic from, like, a smaller publication. Saying, oh, your publication wasn't good enough, so I'm going to step back and allow you to go do what, you know, you weren't allowed to. You know, because you're just not as good as me. But don't worry, I'm going to make you feel better by stepping aside and giving you my seat, because I'm better than you. That's what those people are. I hate those people. You know, because they're so demeaning. And no one should be applauding that behavior for the whole Wakanda Forever thing. Like, give up your seat in favor of, you know, someone who wouldn't get the opportunity to see it. There's a word to describe what that is. But I'm just gonna say discriminatory because YouTube is pretty spicy with certain words. So that kind of annoyed me today when I saw that. I was like, you can't do that. That's wrong. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's fine. No. Yeah.
It's gonna be too much for me to handle, and I'm gonna get better.
Yeah, I know. Is this a Shakira thing again, or are these zombies? What's going on?
I liked the Black Panther movies that I saw, but this Black Panther movie, like every single one, they throw more and more craziness into it, like behind the scenes. But also, like, the fact that 80% of it is gonna be. I don't really like funerals. Like, I don't really see the point in watching a movie that's a funeral.
I think the funeral thing is done in, like, I understand that the cast and crew couldn't be there, like, or maybe actually some of them did attend Chadwick's funeral, but to make a to make a movie about a person that they viewed as like hero worship, and a person in real life who did not like hero worship, it feels like maybe to them it's important for the grieving process that they needed to do this, but if Chadwick was still alive, I don't think he would have appreciated it, because he had this whole thing about how he didn't like hero worship. He doesn't like it. And that's exactly what this movie is. It's worshiping the first Black Panther, or the second Black Panther, until the new one steps in. And it just, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't. But,
Yeah,
you know, people don't respect the wishes of dead people.
I think, like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but it just feels like, I don't know I feel like I constantly have to explain to people that Wakanda is not real. Because, like, they really think it is real, but it's really not. It's literally a comic book area. Just like Kahndaq isn't really real. I mean, it is kind of real because it's in Egypt, but I mean, these are just like Bloodhaven isn't real. Like, these are like comic book locations.
Well, the reason why DC Comics even made up locations is because they didn't want to have to pay royalties to actual cities. Like, Marvel didn't care. Marvel got the license to do New York City and like real world cities, and DC was like, because back then, because DC started first. DC was an older company, right? DC started in 1938, 37, I believe. Superman was 38, Batman was 39. Captain America wasn't owned by Marvel. He was another company. It came out a little after Batman and Superman, I believe, but he wasn't part of Marvel yet. He got bought by Marvel and became a Marvel character, along with the Human Torch and other things. And then Stan Lee was smart, and he was like, you know what? I want my superheroes to have more of a impact with people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way of using real-world locations and have superheroes operate that. And I'm also going to make them more relatable, dealing with more human-related stuff. Whereas DC Comics, the goal was not to necessarily make stories about the human condition and, you know, the world around them. It was to make compelling stories of fiction. So eventually, by like the 70s and 80s, they started to incorporate like more, you know, real-world issues, like Speedy dealing with drug addiction, and, you know, Joker being like a mass murderer, or, you know, Batman solving like mysteries and things like that, and kind of echoing like real-world atrocities in the 1970s and 80s and things like that. But before, they were interested in like telling compelling fictional stories that couldn't happen in real life.
Yeah.
And then it shifted.
I mean, that's what I kind of like about the Black Adam movie. So it's not a real world location. It's Kahndaq, which I thought was really weird that it was getting bad. Like after watching the movie, I find it very odd that the movie would get quote-unquote canceled online for, you know, people being yeeted that are from the Middle East or something, which I find really weird because it was actually the foreigners that he was going against to get out of his city.
it just shows you how out of touch Twitter is, because the army
he didn't kill Middle Eastern people. He was
the army that he killed was
people that were coming in from other places. So
Intergang was a coalition.
They obviously have never watched the movie.
No, they did. They weren't paying attention. They were
How
like,
did they not pay attention to that? It was a key thing in the movie.
I think they thought that he was going around killing civilians, but he protected the civilians.
He didn't kill any civilians. That was a thing. People, they just didn't even understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I find it very weird. Like, and I'm not trying to spoil it. But it's like, if you actually watch the movie, like, he didn't kill any Middle Eastern people or, you know, people from the Egyptian region at all. He was killing people from out of town.
Well, yeah, because Intergang was what do you call it? Intergang was a coalition of troops from all over the world that were invaders of Kahndaq.
Yeah, and Intergang was in Lois and Clark.
Yes. Yep.
That's where I remember it from, Intergang.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's a DC Comics organization, Intergang.
Intergang is a criminal organization that uses technology.
In Lois and Clark, like, Intergang, they basically had front organizations like Walmart and stuff. Like, or not Walmart, but I mean, you know, like, grocery stores and other things.
Do you want to know what was a huge missed opportunity that The Rock could have done that would have made people really happy? And I can talk about this because it's not a spoiler. But Intergang is associated with Darkseid.
Oh, wow.
So if they really wanted to make Snyder fans shut up, they could have had an Easter egg in the movie where they tied Intergang to Darkseid. Like, there could have been, like, one little scene between him and Apocalypse, or, like, one, maybe you would see, like, a weapon supplier, like, show up that is from Apocalypse, like the little bug people. Like, there's something they could have done, more so than the cameo that they did in the end, to kind of tie it into that bigger world, because Intergang has always had, like, a connection to Apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, but if the Twitter people would have to be really dumb to think that, like, they would have to be really moronic, because one of the main guys that was causing a lot of issues had blonde hair. How could he be from the Middle East? Doesn't make any sense. Like, and also they explained it, like, that it was a gang organization from out of... They explained it so many times, like, they're taking our... They came in from somewhere else. They're taking our resources.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, like, you would have to be such an idiot to not see that those people were not from that region.
Right.
Like, there were, like, so many points in the movie where they were explaining that those people were not from there.
If I'm being completely candid, like, I feel like they were just dumping on it because it was a DC movie, again, and also they didn't like the message of the movie. Like, the message of the movie is kind of redemption. Like, The Rock went through so much as Teth Adam, and he had a second... That's why it was so compelling in the movie, where he says, "I am no hero," and then the lady who you said could probably be his future wife or something, she's like, "Well, you can be now. It's like, you have a chance to... You messed up 5,000 years ago. This is your time now."
I like that a lot, because I think, like, in the minds of Twitter people, they would think, oh, these people made me angry, and I'm still angry, and I have a chance to be cool, and I have a chance to try to be a hero and be a good person. No way am I going to take that chance. I'm going to be vengeful and even more mean now than I was 5,000 years ago. That's how I think Twitter people think, but that's not what the movie was about.
As much as I like the Thor movies, like, I mean, just seeing Black Adam in action, and the only thing that dragged the story down, which it did not need, was the excessive amount of that little kid. I'm serious. If we go back and we see the movie again, I kid you not.
Jar Jar Binks of the movie.
No, he's not as bad as Jar Jar. The kid is a good actor. The problem is they used him too much. Like, he doesn't need to be in every scene, because the movie is not called Among, it's called Black Adam. And Black Adam is almost kind of playing like a side role, even though he's the main lead, because they focus... It's like... It's not as bad as the Russian family in 2017 Justice League, but it's comparable to that. The only difference is the mom and the son are good actors.
Yeah.
They're good actors. They're fun to watch.
But they gave them too much.
But they gave them too much as a part of the movie. It's like, great, she woke up Black Adam. That's cool.
It's like Michael Bay's Transformers, where you have all these people talking, and the Transformers are only side characters in their own movie.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't like about Michael Bay's Transformers, is you hardly ever got to see the Transformers.
Because basically what the movie's like is there's a lot of heart-pounding action, and then the pacing just kind of... It's the same problem I had with the 2017 Justice League and stuff like that. There's all this stuff where there's this intense action a little bit, and then there's this lull period of just where the characters are talking and they're not doing much, and the story just kind of slows to a crawl. That's kind of what happened with Black Adam.
Didn't Dwayne Johnson write the movie? That's what I was confused about.
He based his story after the New 52 version, and he worked with Jeff Johns a little bit. But there was an actual writer who did the movie. His characterization, he did personally. Like, what he wanted Black Adam to say, what he wanted Black Adam to do, that was all The Rock. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe the writer, like, if The Rock had written the entire movie, maybe it would have been better, because the parts where he was in it were really good.
The thing that I feel let down about, when I go back and I watch the Black Adam trailers, the little kid isn't present. Like, if I would have known that the dude was going to be in the movie, like, then I could have expected it. He's like a character that pops up out of nowhere, and then he's in the entire movie. Like, everything revolves around the kid. Meeting the Black Adam, then he has the whole, like, what's the kid's name in Shazam that hangs out with Billy?
I don't know about.
Do you remember? Is it Frankie?
But I don't want to say much about this. I don't want to be responsible.
Okay. That's fine, that's fine.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I understand what you're saying. There's too much of the kid, but don't say what the kid did or anything. Don't say specific plot points.
Okay, okay.
You're on really dangerous ice.
I'm on dangerous ice.
You're literally, you're about to spoil it for everyone in the chat. You're about to spoil the entire movie. Don't worry, Luke hasn't really spoiled the movie yet, but he was about to. My personal opinion is that I liked everything about the movie. I liked everything. I watched the movie as a conglomerate, like, whole, and I liked it. Kid and all. I'm the only. I mean, yeah. I mean the. I mean, yeah, I was a little. I mean, really, I just liked it. Really, I think that what I was trying to say before. I know you have this thing where you think that guy was too much in the movie. I really liked the movie in general, and what I liked about it is it wasn't like we weren't in New York City. It wasn't like, you know, like Spider-Man where you're like fighting the you know, like New York's NYPD, and it wasn't anything like the real world. Even though you could get the feeling you must be near Egypt, like you have to be near Egypt. Kondak has to be near Egypt because like he's literally calling on the Egyptian gods and goddesses for his powers. So it has to be close to Egypt. Like the Kondak is obviously somewhere in the Middle East. But you don't know where it is exactly, and it literally is a fictional place. That's what I really liked about it. It gave me a really nice feeling like the old comic book movies I remember watching like in the 90s or something. Like, I don't know, it made me feel, like I said before, like it felt like I was watching like the first Spider-Man movie. That feeling of, it was very like raw, like very raw and real, like very just, it wasn't like overly done. Like it wasn't overly done and overly fancy and flashy effects, and every scene wasn't overly done. Everything was just done perfectly. Like they made the movie, it was fun, and they made it, and now they're moving on to the next one. And I like the movie doesn't have to be so flashy to be a good movie. Like it was really good, and I really liked it. And you know, like I really hope they make more. It made me feel nostalgic in a way, like watching it. It reminded me of older movies I've seen in that style, where it's just like like it wasn't over CGI'd. You know, like the action, it wasn't over, like, you know, they didn't have like 5 million extras, you know, just because, or, you know, excessive, weird aliens coming. I mean, like, it just was a fun, like, movie. Like, it is what it was, and it, you know, it had just enough of what it needed. If that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't say, I mean, I would almost, like, you were almost bordering on, you would almost think it was, I wouldn't say low budget, but I would say, like, it wasn't low budget, but I mean, they just did exactly what they needed. Like,
the CGI was incredible.
They didn't go, oh, wow, the CGI was amazing, especially the fight scenes. Like, they did everything they need, they spent all the money on what they needed to spend it on.
But they cut some scenes that they showed in the trailer. Like, there's literally, maybe that's why. Maybe, like, the critics got to see a different movie than we did, because he is doing the Iron Man sequence where he's flying, like, right next to some airplanes. and the airplanes tell him to land, and those are Middle Eastern pilots, and he destroys the airplanes. But the only thing we saw in the movie is he blew up helicopters. There was no scene where he was flying between jets and fighting the military. It was only intergang.
But intergang is all over the world, so those pilots, even though they were from the Middle East, they could have been part of intergang. Like, everyone is part of intergang. Like, no, I'm everywhere.
I'm saying they cut.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They cut some part of the movie out, which we'll probably get as like a, when it comes out on Blu-ray or whatever, they'll probably put it back in. But
I know what you're saying. But I'm saying if they cut that out because of Twitter, they might have not understood. Those pilots might have been. But the reality, what they don't understand is, like, I don't know. I don't really want to spoil too much, but it's like Black Adam, like, coming out.
Nope, Spider-Man in Black Adam's chair.
I'm just saying, like, Black Adam coming out of wherever he comes out of. It's kind of like him coming out of the Lazarus pit. He doesn't really know, who's good and who's bad. It's anyone who's against him or appears to be telling him what to do or pushing him around. So in reality, even if you were a good person and you were a pilot and, whatever, he might still kill you because you're bothering him. I mean, he even says in one point of the movie, like, I took care of those people because they wouldn't get out of my way.
Yeah.
So, in reality, it's like, I don't think, it's like critics don't understand, like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's like, oh, well, why would he decide to kill that person? It's like, he's not deciding to kill anyone, he's just mad.
No,
don't you understand what it's like to be angry? Like, if you had superpowers and you were mad, you would just kill everyone.
Their reviews shouldn't be counted. I've actually gone and I've read the reviews of the movie that brought down the movie to, like, a whatever tomato rating it is. I think it's, like, not fresh or something like that. But most of their reviews don't make any sense. They're talking about, one reviewer was saying how they didn't like the mistreatment of women in the movie, and I'm just
Who got mistreated?
Right, because the mom actually has, like, a kick butt role in the movie. Like, she does so much. She's like Laura Croft, basically. So her role was cool. So I don't know what they were talking about there.
In what universe was any woman, like, mistreated? In fact, the whole point of the movie was about Black Adam taking care of his family.
Right.
That's the whole story of Black Adam, is caring
that's
about
why
his wife
I'm
and child.
saying the quote-unquote top critics that wrote reviews, scathing reviews for the movie, calling it boring and saying, like,
it's like they never watched it.
Virtue signaling, it doesn't make any sense. And
Did
yes,
they watch a different movie?
Ivan, I'm aware. I told you guys before that the narrative lady who was hired by WB Games Montreal right around the time of Tim Drake's Change and Urban Legends did match certain criteria and had certain things that she was boasting about that she was going to do to the game, and she did it. I mean, if you want to tell people I was right about that, I mean, I've got some crazy haters on the internet that really don't want to bring attention to stuff if I don't have to. But yes, I was right. I am always right. Like, I'm very often wrong about this stuff. But I don't like to brag about it. I mean, I just told people, hey, this is what's up. This is what they're doing.
You mean you're seldom often wrong?
I'm seldom often
wrong.
You
just said you were very often wrong.
Okay, well, I am tired. But
Luke means he moved Lynn to say he was hardly ever wrong.
Seldom wrong. Words don't... I still have another stream tonight, okay? I'm on fumes.
I have to feel bad for you, but I really need to get to bed.
Of course, but thank you for correcting that. Yes.
If I see Bayonetta, I'm gonna have a problem with her. She's very...
The Bayonetta is gonna be very violent and spooky. So
I actually don't want you to see it because it's just like...
I promised DBZ fan, and also he paid for it. I am a man of my word. Huh?
I don't want you to watch some girl like that.
I'm not in there. What? That's very cute, but no, I'm not. No. she's not a type of anime chick that I'm even slightly interested in. I don't like her personality. I don't like how she's very profane. You know, I'm not a big Bayonetta. I've never have been. She doesn't. I don't even want to talk about it. It's weird, but she's not considered a waifu for me. She's not. I like the sweet, innocent anime girls that are nice and maybe a little whatever it's called. Little. Yeah. Bayonetta's not that. Bayonetta is a dominatrix, and I don't like that. It's not. I prefer more like sweet, docile, like gentle, you know, nice girls. I don't like the very brash and, you know, no, it's not me. So it's just a game. You'd be more concerned about if I was doing a game where girls call me senpai all the time or something, and being sweet to me and baking me cookies or something, you know. But I already have that in real life, so it's fiction. So you have nothing to be. You have no competition with stuff, so you don't need to worry about it. You're amazing. Okay. So you don't, you know, you don't have to make sure whatever. I'm more interested in Princess Zelda than I am Bayonetta. Zelda's my ideal video game chick. She's very cool. But there's so many different types of Zelda, so I don't know which one would be. I like Skyward Sword, and I like some aspects of A Link to the Past because they're. But Skyward Sword Zelda's not always sweet and nice. She literally pushed Link off a cliff. So she was kind of like, sometimes she's like this sweet girl next door, and then the next minute she's kind of like that childhood friend that'll push you off a cliff if you say something wrong. It was a weird mixture for a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why the critics were saying mean things because it didn't mistreat women. That movie didn't have any mistreatment of women.
May I say something though?
It was like they just made up lies about the movie.
These same critics gave raving reviews for Netflix's Cooties.
What's Netflix's Cooties?
Well, people who know, they know. I don't want to talk about it because it could get the channel in trouble, but it was a very bad Netflix show during the pandemic, and it got panned, and critics were raving that it was so good. But they're on record on Rotten Tomatoes. If you can click and you can read other reviews that these quote top critics have made on the website, and a lot of the people that gave Black Adam bad scores gave MCU movies higher scores, and they also rated the Cooties Netflix thing and some other things higher than Black Adam.
I don't know if they're supposed to be like woke or whatever. I don't understand. This is literally a movie that.
This is a movie made by a mixed Hawaiian descent. Literally, and also the movie also has a lot of like representation and things like it.
Yeah, it has a lot of ethnic representation. It actually takes place in the Middle East. Like, I don't really understand what problem they could have with this movie.
The problem I think that the critics, like most critics, didn't like about Black Adam, is because while it does have representation and all this other stuff, it didn't explain to them every 5 minutes like a Marvel movie that I am of this nationality or I am a woman and I am oppressed. And
why would you need to explain that when you're already on the screen?
Right, exactly. Like, not once did the archaeologist lady be like, "How dare you? I'm a woman and an archaeologist, and you don't know how hard it is." She's like, "Yeah, I stole the crown. What are you gonna do about it?" And it's just like, dang, you know, she's just doing her job. And
why would you need to explain it to your...
Right.
Why would you
that's
need
because
to explain it?
That's because critics are stupid. So the fact that literally you have a Middle Eastern woman in the Black Adam movie that is essentially the Lara Croft role, and she's a kick-butt mom, and she's not explaining every 5 minutes that she's a woman that... She's not even going around saying, like, I am a widow my husband was killed because of blah blah blah, and I hate all men, or she's just. She doesn't even say she hates all foreigners either. She's like, my husband was killed during a war. I raised my son. I did the best I could. But she doesn't bring it up every 5 minutes. You can tell from that one line that she says somewhere in the movie that, she had a hard time raising her son, and she loves her son. She's going to do anything she can for her kid. But they don't make that the entire focus of the movie or her character.
No.
She's Amon's mom, yeah, but there's more to her than that. She's an archaeologist. She's a descendant of Black Adam, most likely. Probably. I don't know. Because the necklace thing she had, which they never really talk about ever again. I think that's another problem I have with the movie, is they bring up plot points, and they never they don't resolve some of them.
I like that it's not resolved.
Maybe they're saving it for a second movie.
See, that's what I like. Everything you don't like about it is what I do like about it.
Well, I'm a good critic, so I pay attention to things.
Oh, I pay attention. It's just, it doesn't need to be resolved for me.
I know.
Like, for me,
we are two different people.
The reason why I don't like it resolved is maybe you'll see it in the third Black Adam movie.
You mean second?
Well, I hope there's three.
I hope there's three. Probably what they're gonna do is they're gonna have like $7 production is probably gonna, in collaboration with the Mission Impossible director, make Man of Steel 2, and then there'll be a tease for Black Adam and Man of Steel 2 or whatever. And then the next Black Adam movie either will deal with some type of threat to conduct, or maybe Superman and him are going to throw down. I don't know. But from what The Rock has been saying in his interviews, the plan is not to make Black Adam 2. The plan is to make a Superman movie, like, right away.
That's a shame, because I would rather see that.
Yeah, but you don't know how big of a fan The Rock is of Superman. Superman was his childhood hero. So the fact that he brought back the Superman of our generation, Henry Cavill, and the fact that his production team most likely is going to make the next Superman movie, he's psyched out of his mind, because it's like a dream come true from him. Because he couldn't play Superman. He realized that, so he had to find another character that was someone that he could be, and he really liked Jeff Johns' relaunch of Black Adam, and he signed up to be Black Adam 10 years ago. And then they kept pushing his movie back, and eventually he was like, no, you can't push my movie back. I'm going to make my own production company, and I'm going to make the movie. Yeah. And that's what he did. That's what's so cool about The Rock. You can tell The Rock no, and he's like, okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a bunch of movies, and then I'm going to use the profits of those movies. I'm going to make my own company, and then I'm going to have that company take care of all the high budgeting of the movie that I'm going to make for DC, and it's going to be based on DC characters, but the only thing you're going to have to do is approve my budget and do this, and then I'm going to handle everything else. And that's exactly what he did. And that deserves so much respect. And it shows that,
he may be an anti-hero in the movie, but he's a hero in real life.
He's pretty cool. The more I hear about all the stuff behind the scenes about what it took to make Black Adam, like the past 10 years, is incredible. And the man does not take no for an answer, and I really respect that. He is a go-getter.
Yeah, he's also really respectful talking about WB and DC. Like, he doesn't, like, there was probably some bad stuff behind the scenes that he never talked about.
Like, he said something.
He's like, well, things are so difficult. He's like,
nope, that's not what he says. When the hierarchy changed at DC, he had no qualms about doing interview. He was like, okay, he says, so for 6 years, we tried to get this and this done, and they kept telling us no. And then he says, when new people came in, he says, we went around the people that said no until we got a yes. And he says, then the people who were in our way, they're not there anymore. There's all new people there, and they really wanted to pursue what our vision for Black Adam was, and for the new era of DC films. He says they were really on board with stuff.
God bless The Rock.
So
literally making people happy.
Yeah, because The
Giving
Rock,
people what they want.
The Rock has showmanship. The Rock understands the power of fandom when used properly.
But he made the movie like a comic book movie. Like,
yeah.
He didn't add real world drama into it at all.
No.
And that's what I liked about it, but I guess that's what the critics didn't like. But the thing is, like, people would be like, well, you're not dealing with Middle East issues. It's like, but we're actually in Kondak. It's a fictional place.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is not a real world. We're in a comic book.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
So I think that the critics don't understand. Like, it's not like Marvel. We're not in New York City. We're in Kondak. It's a different place. We're not in Cairo, Egypt. This is Kondak. It's like Cairo, but it's not Cairo because it's actually a fictional place.
Yep. I still have a strong feeling that they cut some parts of the movie out that we'll see on DVD. Like, because there was a whole scene where he is fighting the Air Force. And that's not there.
But it's weird that they would say, like, well, why are you fighting, these people, or why are you fighting these people? It's like, but he was saying, but his character is a character that's going to fight anyone who gets in his way, so he's not on anyone's side. He's not on the people in that area's side. He's not really on... It could be anyone who seems like they're oppressing someone else, He's just on... they even talked about it in the movie where it's like something about... There was a really cool line towards the beginning of the movie about, like I don't want to give... Like, I don't know, like something about, like, I don't want to give... Something about how freedom is the best thing that you can give. Like, it's like the best gift you can give to your people or something. I don't know, I'll have to watch the movie again, but he really believes in, like, freeing people so they aren't oppressed. That's what he doesn't like, people who are oppressed. Yeah. So if the local government who is Middle Eastern were oppressing their own people, or if Intergang from outside of the government was oppressing them, no matter who was oppressing them, he would probably kill anyone oppressing people because he wants people to be free. That's his goal. He wants people to be free. He doesn't want them to be oppressed.
Yep, that's what he believed in.
So he would probably take care of people from that region or from other regions. Like, anyone. Because there's corrupt government locally and there's corrupt international organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Both. And I personally think Amanda Waller's corrupt, but I mean, that's another story.
Yep.
I mean, the Suicide Squad is disturbing. Her methods are not normal. She's typical government worker that crosses the line.
Oh yeah, she crosses the line all the time.
She's not a good person. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was just surprised to see her role in the movie because, like, she, according to the last Suicide Squad movie, it felt like she was kind of a villain behind the scenes. And, like, the Suicide Squad turned against her in that movie, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, but with all government workers, it doesn't matter. Like, power, if you have power, it really doesn't matter, even if people...
Some time passes and then, yeah.
Yeah, like, you can basically get away with... I mean, I really think, like, I don't know, I just personally think, like, if you were... I mean, look at the government, look at politicians, like, they vote against a bill and everyone hates them, and then 10 years later, everyone forgets what they voted for, and they're just fine again, everything's fine.
These people don't check the receipts.
Their career is fine. So that's the same with Amanda Waller. She works for the government. She's untouchable. Like, even if she committed murder, she could just continue her job. She could just lay low for 10 years and then start again. She still works for the government. Just switch her to a different department. I mean, they're untouchable like that. I mean, she's supposed to represent... I mean, in DC, the government is corrupt. And in Marvel, the government is good. It's like completely different viewpoints of the government, because Nick Fury and everyone... Well, actually, in a way, though, in Marvel, S.H.I.E.L.D. is the good part of the government. The other part of the government isn't always helpful. Well, anyway, I'm just talking, and I can tell that Luke's not listening to anything I'm saying at this point.
I'm listening. I'm just setting up my...
I guess S.H.I.E.L.D. is not the bad part of the government in Marvel. Like there are bad parts of it.
Yeah, and
It
now
depends on what government you're talking about.
and now you're gonna have Harrison Ford involved with Marvel movies. So
I thought he said he didn't want to be involved.
I know. This is why the same thing that happened with Mark Hamill. You write them a check, money's green. Like, you know. Yeah, so they're recasting the role of General Ross, who was played by a famous actor who I guess passed away or retired or something like that, and they're bringing in Harrison Ford to play a big role, like play that role again. So maybe Harrison Ford will end up being Red Hulk or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I do like how in DC it's like the superheroes have to work with the government, but the government is generally not to be trusted. But they have to work with them anyway. I find that very like realistic. I think that DC for me is based on realism. It's like, okay, this is a very imperfect world, but we have to live in it. Whereas Marvel is just like they have to rationalize everything. Like, you know, like Iron Man and Captain America have to like talk things out. That's one thing I don't understand between DC and Marvel. Is Marvel, they sit there with long talks, long meetings, going over things. Well, I talked to the senator and, you know, I talked it over with him, says Captain America, and now he understands how we feel. It's like, do you really think a politician would understand how you feel? Ever? I don't think so. I don't think any politician would care. Why would you waste your time talking to them? Whereas in DC, it's just like a quick phone call from Amanda Waller, and it's just like, okay, you guys are gonna need to do this, and it's like, I don't feel like it, and Amanda Waller's just like, you better do it or else, and it's like, fine, whatever, and then, so it's just like, DC is just like less talk with the government. It's just like, they have to do it because there's no other choice, and they don't want to. They're not like Captain America. They don't sit there and talk it over and be like, oh, now I have a great relationship with the government. No, they never have a good relationship with the government because you can never have a good relationship with the government.
I was actually surprised. I was sitting there in my Teth Adam throne, and like, I actually didn't die. I was sitting there for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it was just okay. Maybe it was the power of Shazam or the throne that was prolonging my life or something like that. Because I should have died like right away, but I did that, and then it was like, whoop, I'm still there. I'm still alive. Game. That was kind of fun.
Well, I'm going.
Sure.
Have fun playing the other game tonight.
Yeah, that's not long now. Not long.
I'd like to be on it. I have a horrible feeling that you're gonna have a bad stream.
Well, I'm going to sleep after regardless, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, do you even know the controls of that game?
It's Devil May Cry.
Oh, so you'll be fine.
Bayonetta is essentially Devil May Cry and
I have a
some
question,
other
though, like,
action-y games.
How do you handle, like, I don't want to say this on the stream, but like,
What?
how do you handle things that are too, like, intense, like, all of the language and the other stuff that they show in the game? Like, what if it makes you feel uncomfortable? Like, how do you, like, for me, like, I have to, like, walk away, because it just, like, makes me feel so, like, stressed out.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be one of those games unless the person hosting the game, like, has me do it, like, every, you know, once a month or something like that. So, I mean, it's just probably a one-off. I don't think it's going to be, like, the first chapter is probably going to be pretty bad, like, in terms of, like...
that'll be, like, the shock value.
Right.
After.
Yeah. And then it'll kind of mellow out, and then later on it'll get really bad and raunchy again, and then it will mellow out. It's not my type of game. But it's not something that would... Like, I would be like, oh, you know, I'm disgusted, I'm gonna walk away, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, like, the trailer didn't look that bad, but I don't know if they put everything in the trailer in the game.
Yeah. I was surprised to see a lot of family-friendly channels, or supposed family-friendly channels, like, posting actual episodes of it. Because, I mean, the amount of editing one would have to do for Bayonetta herself, even though it's Jennifer Howell now, which I can't I can't hear the difference, like between the actress who played before, the British lady, the actual British lady who played the voice of Bayonetta, and her new voice. Jennifer Hale is still an amazing voice actress. Like, she's 60 now, I think, and she still plays that, like, what is it called? Female fatale. She's been playing the role of female fatale since she played a Black Cat in the '90s Spider-Man show, and she played Mary Jane too, I believe. I think she played both Mary Jane Watson and Black Cat, and they sounded completely different.
She does a great job of playing really pretty girls.
And she's so old.
And you would not know it. You would think that she was 20 years old.
Yeah, she's, you know, her voice, she sounds like pretty amazing still. She might even be older than that. I don't remember. Because I know she was in her, at least either her 20s or 30s in like the mid 90s. So it's now 2022, and the fact that she took the role away from a person that has been voicing the character for so long is kind of incredible. But the thing that I've noticed about the Bayonetta that I heard is it just sounds like Bayonetta's a little bit older. In fact, if you look at her, she looks older than she did in her first two outings of the games.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that her voice has aged a little bit, but it still sounds like Bayonetta.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I thought when I saw the trailer. I was like, oh yeah, it's Bayonetta's voice. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, she's voiced by someone else. But I couldn't tell the difference. Like, it sounded exactly like every other trailer I've ever heard with other people.
Oh, I didn't get him. I was trying to get him with my chainsaw hand.
Yeah, I feel like this whole thing with this girl that said she was supposed to do it, I just feel like this is just like a tremendously like personal issue. Like, she should have been taking up with the studio, and like if she didn't like what they did, she could have sued them. But just like saying it all over social media,
well, I mean,
trying to get them in trouble is just kind of ridiculous. Like, you should be doing it you should be working out with a company yourself.
There's another rumor going around about her, that she didn't align politically with the people she was working with, so they fired her. She's not. She is a very great voice actress. She's a little demanding, but also she has the opposite viewpoints of most Hollywood people. So she'd basically be like the Gina Carano of voice acting.
So maybe that's the real reason she was let go.
I mean, it could be, but I mean, Twitter right now is kind of having a field day because they're having their own Blackest Night event because basically Elon Musk is like Necron, like all these accounts are coming back from the dead, and but then they're doing stupid stuff, like they're talking about things that got them banned in the first place, and it's just like you're just face palming, like.
Well, I mean, even Elon Musk is gonna have to ban some people.
Of course, because you can't
you can't say everything you want.
If you've been, you know, even though there's free speech or whatever, you don't scream fire in, you know, a Chinese restaurant or something. You know, there's certain things you can say, but that doesn't mean you should say them. You know, it's like, but you know, do people have the right to go and, you know, cancel people and like destroy their livelihood? No. Like, but you can call people out on stuff, and you know, but to organize like mass things where people were like losing their jobs and you were harassing companies to get actors fired you didn't like or who didn't align from you politically, first, that's very fascist, and two, you know, it's sets a bad precedent because that could backfire on you someday. Like, you don't...
Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't like, when people are always like...
Which has.
If you don't like somebody because of what they think, then you should make sure they're fired, they can never work again, and then everyone will never hire them, and they'll have to work at Burger King the rest of their life, or be homeless or something. And then it's like, okay, but then what happens when you disagree with somebody? Then they're going to do that to you. That's the thing that I don't understand about people that they demand, I need justice, like I want this person to be hurt, I want to hurt them, I want to hurt them, I want to hurt them.
That's not justice, that's vengeance.
But it's like you don't even, it's like you're not even comprehending, what if this was turned around on you? Like, what if somebody else was in power opposite what you thought?
Oh, what happens all the time.
And then they turned it on you, and then your viewpoint is now the minority viewpoint. And now you're the one being treated like this.
Comic book Twitter is a perfect example of this. Like, you have people all the time that they band together on something, and then the person says one hot take. Like, for instance, there was this girl who, for the longest time, she agreed and did with everything that comic book Twitter said and did. You know, helped cancel people and, like, cause a big stink with stuff. And then she made a comment how she didn't like how Jonathan Kent was a terrible Superman, which he is. She made a true statement, and they accused her of not liking a certain group of people because she made fun of a fictional character. And they harassed her and they bullied her. Just because she said, I don't like Jonathan Kent's Superman, they made all these assumptions, and this was people that were in her circle of, you know, crazies, and they turned on her like rabid dogs. Like, within, I don't know, I think it was like a week or two.
Yeah, it's like it's like they're so busy putting everyone else's opinion down and saying, you know, you're wrong, I'm gonna make sure you get fired, and then they don't realize that once they have one wrong opinion,
a house of cards,
it will literally happen to them.
Yeah, they're a house of cards, basically. Like, that group of people, like those like Twitter comic book people, they live their lives like a house of cards. Like, and if one thing falls apart, then the whole thing collapses.
And they're always confused because what is popular and what's considered normal is always changing. So, like, today, like, you know, I don't know, like, today, like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's just,
I'm using the black food. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Ash is a member of the X-Men. I could see that happening because he's got a chainsaw arm. That's like a mutation.
Yeah, it's just what is normal in one decade and normal to say in the next decade it will be completely inappropriate. Like, people will consider it wrong. Like there's so many things I can think of in the 90s and 2000s that were some completely normal, and then now it's like if you would say something that everyone would have said back then you're completely, like, ostracized.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, it's not weird. It's not a good idea to, like, if you got banned off a platform to then come back and do the same thing that got you kicked out in the first place.
Yeah, especially like some of the derogatory terms they're calling people and stuff. I feel like it's never good to name call, like, even if you think it's funny or you think the other side from what you believe is dumb, like, you should not really, like, name call online. You shouldn't really, like, name call online like that.
Oh my gosh, we're doing that. That's like, amazing.
You have the right, you have the right to say whatever you want, but should you? Exactly like you said, Luke. Like, just because you have the right to say it, should you say it? Like, I mean, you should do it tastefully, though.
Yeah, but people don't really have
it's
common
like,
sense.
It's like, it's like, okay, you really don't like certain people or whatever, but why do you have to use, like, derogatory names or name call people? Because after a while, you're just getting people to hate you. Like, you're not really getting people to understand your side of things because you're name calling. Like, you know.
This will be my last one, and then I gotta go over to my other channel to get it over with.
Okay.
Thank you for giving Zelda her medicine already. Did you take yours?
I didn't give her medicine.
I'm sorry, I thought you did already because it's so late.
I was sitting here with you.
Well, I had fun sitting here with you. I did. I get to talk a lot about stuff with you. Now I have to finish this with something. If you guys haven't readied up, do it already. Have I been keeping up with the time codes? I think I have. I've just been writing random stuff. Let's see. Black Adam talk. Ash and Black Adam. Boomstick. I'm gonna call this chainsaw hand. Chainsaw arm. Chainsaw. And chainsaw arm. Hand. I don't know. 55. Chainsaw arm. Chainsaw arm hand thing. Yeah. Cool. I will be. This is my last round, DBZ fan. Thank you so much for sponsoring Bayonetta. This is my last round with this guy, and then I'll do Bayonetta over in the other channel. No worries. I got brisk iced tea here, buddy. I'm fine. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do at least the first chapter or the first hour and a half, something like that. And then I'm gonna conk out on the couch. Most likely. I don't know how chatty I'm gonna be looking at Bayonetta. It's not my type of game, dude. I will let you enjoy seeing the game and, you know, me blasting like demons and stuff. But I don't really have a lot to comment on that. I'm not gonna be as chatty as I was when I did Devil May Cry, because I'm a DMC fan, so I'm not a Bayonetta person. I have a whole case of brisk iced tea, thank you. I am Thor Odinson Ash Williams. Thank you, sweetie. This is amazing. The fact that Ash can use Thor's not Mjolnir. I can never say the name of the stupid hammer. Mjolnir. Stormbringer. I had a lot of fun talking about Black Adam with Amber tonight. But everything I've heard from critic friends that saw Black Adam, they said they liked it more than Thor: Love and Thunder. Like they out of all the if the Batman hadn't come out this year, a lot of people I knew that seen the movie that work for like newspapers and stuff like that, they said that their #1 comic book movie this year would be Black Adam. And these are like press people that have already seen Wakanda Forever. They did not give up their seat though to someone who, you know, didn't get selected to go. But they saw Wakanda Forever. They thought it was good, but in terms of like movie that they enjoyed the most and they had the most fun with was Black Adam this year. Yeah, I know. It's weird. The thing is, I can't, even though I speak from common sense and stuff like that, if I said something, then I would have my weird haters like saying, see, I knew that he was Ray, whatever. But it's like, if anything, I think that it's discriminatory to allow someone to do something that you think they can't. Like, you're telling them they're not good enough, and so you as the better person need to bow out so that they'll be recognized because you're better than them. That's why I don't like people like that, because that mentality is wrong. It's
Here, let me illustrate what that mentality is like.
But I would still have my haters calling me the R word, because they would say that's wrong thing.
Here's what that mentality is like. Luke, I thought you were really cute when we were dating, but I didn't think you were good enough for me because you were Irish. So I decided I would give up my usual standards for you and let you marry me because you're Irish. I decided, you know, I would give you a shot.
Wow, yeah, that does feel bad.
See? See how bad that feels?
Ouch, yeah.
See how bad that would feel? because you're of a certain ethnicity, I don't feel like you would be good enough, but because you're of that ethnicity, I will give you a break and give you my spot or lower my standards for you. That feels so wrong.
Yeah, that's an easy.
That's basically what they're doing, though.
I feel.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're like, well,
I feel kind of dead inside.
I feel like because this person of this ethnicity, they wouldn't normally be able to be good enough to be able to go see this movie, but because they're of this ethnicity and because of that, I feel bad for them, so I guess I'll give them my spot. As if the person couldn't be good enough to go on their own merit, and the fact that they're smart and can do it themselves.
Yeah, yep. I'm just kind of watching the world go by. That illustration makes sense, but that did, wow. Wow. Thank you, Amber, for putting that in the more perspective. But yeah, exactly how Amber said that. You're telling that person who actually probably works very hard in the industry and doesn't have the same recognition as you because they haven't been around as long, and you're telling them, you know, here, I'm going to give up my seat because I feel bad that you didn't get in, and I know that your company isn't as good as mine, and they wouldn't be able to have these type of opportunities, so here you go. And just like, if I was that person, I would just like, be like, yeah, okay, and they give me the ticket, and then I'd tear it up in front of their face, and be like, this is what I think about your charity. Now you don't get to go either. I feel better. And send it back in the mail in pieces so they can't go.
This is just, I mean, I'm not trying to be this person, but it just reminds me of this girl that I was watching, and she's like, her parents were immigrated from Nigeria. And she was saying how she really didn't like, there was one politician that was saying like, let's have equality for everyone. And she had this picture of like 3 people trying to look over a fence. One person was tall, one person was medium, one person was short. Short person couldn't see over the fence wall to see the baseball game. So they had to give them a box so they could stand on it. And then like the politician was like, this is equality, where she's like, some people need more help than other people, so here's the box, because some people can't do it on their own because of who they are, their genes or something. It's like, which is so, it's so prejudiced in and of itself to say that certain people couldn't do something because of who they are. Why would you even say that? But this girl from Nigeria was saying, she said, okay, so in this picture, she's like, apparently this politician was saying some people need extra help more than others because of who they are, or what their genes are, or what ethnicity they are. So she's like, she's saying that people, like literally, she was saying people that, you know, are of a certain ethnicity, she's like me, she's like, that we need extra help. So she's like, this is a picture of a child and an adult. What she's saying, like, this was the Nigerian girl that I was listening to on the vlog. She was like, what she's saying is, she said, what she's saying is, my people are the child. She said, I am not a child, I'm an adult. She said, I don't need any more help than anyone else because of, you know, my ethnicity or my skin tone or anything like that. And she's like, I can do just as much things as anyone else. And I also really like what she said about how she said that, it's interesting, she said, you know, like, she was asking her audience, she's a YouTuber, she said, you know what the most successful group of immigrants are in the United States? She said, it's not, she's like, most people would think it would be Korea or Japan. And she said, it's not. She said, guess what? It's Nigeria. And she said, that's where I'm from. And she said, we work really hard in our schools. And she said, I'm very proud of that. So it doesn't matter where you come from. If you work hard, you can do anything. She said, this is very offensive to me that they would say I would need extra help. She said, I have just the same opportunities as everyone else. I have just the same ability to do this as everyone else. And I most certainly don't need help from anyone.
That's really cool.
And I thought that was so interesting. She was very offended about that. And I thought, yeah, exactly. Like, why Why would you continue this lie that certain people would need extra help when everyone has the same capabilities? Like, we all are just as smart. Like, how would it, what are they actually trying to say? Like, to pit us against each other? What are they trying to say? They're trying to say that our ethnicities would have an influence over how smart we are or how hardworking we are? Why would that matter? We all have skeletons and organs inside, and we're all very intelligent.
You took my line.
It really wouldn't matter.
Yeah, skeleton organ people.
We all have the capability for greatness, no matter where we come from.
Deep down, we're all Skeletor.
Yeah.
Actually, that illustration works really well at Halloween.
But I really like what she was saying, because I didn't realize that Nigeria is one of the top, like, they perform better in American schools than any other like immigrants from any other country.
You can headbutt the computer, but you can't stand or dance on the computer because that's not. You're a fat kitty now, so you can't do that stuff. What are these? Why are there laser lights here? What do those do? I think I've been running around in circles on this map. I haven't really found anybody.
Makes me angry when some politicians are like, well, we have to take into account that there are some areas of people that might not be able to read or know how to use a computer. It's like, really?
Yes, those people are called toddlers.
Really? Really? You really think there's, like, literally ethnic groups of people in the United States that don't know how to read or use a computer? Really?
Well,
That's hard for me to believe.
I believe there are, but they're like senior citizens. Because my grandparents were old, and you put a computer in front of them, and they're like, heresy! Get out the cross and stuff, because then this is demon work. They would never. They still like. We tried to give Grandma a computer a couple of years ago, and she was just like, I have my typewriter. It's like, no, Grandma, you can't. How do I email with a typewriter? No, you can't email with a typewriter, Grandma.
Yeah. There's a demographic of people that can't use a computer well.
They're called
senior citizens.
Yeah, there's a demographic of people that can't read or write very well. One of them's named Joe Biden, and he's the president of the United States. So there you go. That's Yep. And he proved that he can do the highest office in the land. So I mean, anybody's capable of doing anything.
Oh, now there's more people running for office.
Yeah.
That can't really think straight.
Oh, jeez!
What are you doing?
And there goes the stream. There goes the stream.
What is she doing?
Well, I mean, it's great she's feeling better, but she scared me half to death. It looked like she was lunging at my throat. It was like, maybe Zelda's an SJW there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like she was mad.
Zelda wants to have blue fur or something like that. She lunged at my throat. It was like she was possessed or something. Maybe somebody's holding a seance against me somewhere on Twitter. That was terrifying.
Oh, that's weird.
I've never seen her do that. Literally, she lunged at my throat. If you didn't push her away, I'd have like kitty claw in my jugular. That was terrifying.
Oh, I mean, they say on
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But I think I'm gonna have Zelda locked up on Halloween. I have no idea what that person was using a Splatoon gun on me.
Pretty sure on Discovery Channel they say that that's why they breed cats really small. Because if they bred them bigger, then they could actually kill you.
I mean, actually, she looks like she's feeling better. I mean, the tummy medicine must be working, but why in the world would she jump up here toward me?
Yeah.
It's got to be something she doesn't like. Maybe she doesn't like my shampoo. I mean, my hair does
I think
smell.
it's because we were just talking, and she doesn't like us talking.
I mean, we talk all the time. Okay, I'm officially freaked out. Now it's fun, but also terrifying.
Well, I was on a weird website. It said that you have to
No, I don't want to know.
It says that your cats can get possessed if you're not careful.
Yeah, no, I don't want to know. That was weird.
That was a weird website.
I'm literally shaking. I'm literally. She leaped at me.
That's why you should keep all mirrors covered, because they can definitely.
There's no mirrors here. There's no mirrors. Where? That's a television, Amber.
When it turns off at night, it's a screen. It has a reflective surface.
No, it does not have a reflective surface. I call
Oh, no,
no.
Luke.
No.
It has a reflective surface.
No, it does not. No, it does not. I say no. I say no to that. What is that? Fallen Heroes? What is this, like Blackest Night? Zombie Blackest Night Heroes? Interesting. Nah, don't really care for that. You got some punk dead guy. Don't really have any interesting Halloween stuff. Oh, I already... Oh, wait, no, I never got this guy. More spooky offers. Oh, there's the skeleton people. Skeleton squad. I thought there was supposed to be something Halloween related with this. I haven't really seen it yet. Hey, it's that dude you throw at people in multiverses.
Yo.
That's weird. No, I don't really care for that guy, though. Black Adam and this guy are the most interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I just find it weird because remembering, like, my neighbor who actually immigrated from Mexico and actually hardly spoke any English, she had to teach me how to use my computer when I didn't know. So I find that interesting that literally, according to some people, like, people that immigrate from other countries, like, might not know, but yet I'm literally learning from my neighbor who hardly speaks any English to help me learn to use the computer.
Now
So it just shows that...
Toddlers can use smartphones when most adults can't use smartphones.
Yeah.
Like, there are people literally in their 40s and 30s that struggle with smartphones, and if you put a phone in front of a toddler or 4-year-old, they know how to use it. That's terrifying. But anyway, people, that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for watching the Ash Williams Evil Dead thing. It's got a little weird, but, I mean, Fortnite always gets a little weird, especially the last night of the stream. Oh, gosh. I botched that. Especially the last stream of the night on Kwingsletsplays always gets a little weird. But I'm not done yet. I have another stream. I'm looking at Bayonetta the Witch over on the O1 channel. That'll be starting up in 5 minutes. So if you guys want to go over there, the game is rated M. It does have nudity. It does have other things, so just heads up. No idea what's going to happen with that stream. I don't know what YouTube's going to do to me. So that's going to be interesting. But it's brought to you by Ultimate Channel member DBZ Fan. So I need 5 minutes to get that set up. I gotta change consoles. I gotta shut off this streaming service and set up the other one and get some brisk iced tea. So thanks for hanging out, Amber. There will be a proper Black Adam discussion probably this weekend or something. Like maybe we'll do an Injustice stream, but we also have other Ultimates to do as well. So I need to check on that list. But yeah, that's it. That's Evil Dead Ash. I hope you guys had fun. And streams resume tomorrow at 5:30 per usual. With more Mario, going to a new world and stuff, and things like that. Okay. See you guys on Bayonetta. Woo.